Hi, this is Ricky, and it is currently raining, so I think it's a great time to give a quick overview of my T1 Ranger. So you can see I 3D printed a bunch of parts. I 3D printed the motor mounts, I 3D printed a mount for the pan and tilt, I 3D printed the vents, and I added another one here to help with all the air intake. I 3D printed a holder for the Walksnail VTX in the front, and inside I printed out a 3D mount that holds the GPS and the little breakout board for the SpeedyBee F405 mini wing. It kind of folds up. You can see I have copper tape wrapped all around underneath to help shield the GPS. It seems to work out fantastic. I'm running a 3S lithium-ion battery pack, and you can kind of see that I 3D printed a battery holder for it. There's where I mounted the antenna for the Walksnail. It goes upside down. And then this is my pan and tilt setup, so I can look left and right. And I can look up and down. And then the other thing that I did that is pretty neat is I have a little wireless head tracker that's right here. It runs on a little Arduino board so that you can, it's got a little button so you can reset it so that when it looks up, it looks up. When you look down, look to the left and right. So this mounts on your goggles, so everything looks pretty good. I think it came out fantastic. The last thing I printed was this little nut at the back. Also inside I have a little USB extender that goes to the Walksnail VTX that's buried here in the front. Makes it easy to take the videos off and update the firmware if I need to. Also underneath here I have a little fan, so even though it's plugged in, it's not overheating because the little fan is making sure that it is getting plenty of airflow. Hope you enjoyed the little overview of my T1 Ranger. Here are the inav logs from the flight. The colors correspond to the different flight modes. So blue is going to be manual, purple is going to be cruise mode, and this green color is going to be the loiter mode. You can see that it did a really good job of maintaining its altitude throughout the entire flight. Here is an animation of the flight. Take off in manual mode, flip into loiter, and it just circles in the same spot. It is such a fantastic job. And then I go into cruise mode and just kind of fly around. Switch to manual, and then I land. In inav, I have my auto launch settings dialed in. I set the throttle to be 80%, and I have permanently enabled it. Where I live, it is always windy. We don't get very many calm days. So if you look, you can see the wind speed and wind direction stay below 5 miles an hour for most of the flight. I love switching into loiter mode. This is where I get to adjust my goggles. I can specifically look at different things on the OSD. Like you can see the icon that I have made for the total distance. I can check out my airspeed, even though I don't have an actual pitot tube, I have a virtual one. I can see my battery voltage. I can see how many amps both motors are pulling. I can check out my timer, and then I can see how many satellites I have or the direction I have to home. The auto throttle works fantastic. Everything about loiter mode is fun for me. If you look out your left wing, you will see a bunch of apartments that didn't exist when I began flying FPV here. Here is something I did not notice when I was flying. There was somebody with their paramotor setting it up on the football field. The little blue pavilion is where I set up shop to do most of my FPV flying. It has tables and benches, and the blue canopy provides plenty of shade. Here you can see the practice football field outside of the school. Again, I didn't notice this while I was flying, but here you can see the paramotor guy getting his wing ready to go. And on the right side of the plane, you can see the tennis courts and all of the bins getting ready to change out all of the HVAC system on top of the school. They're supposed to do this with helicopters, so I'm told it's really pretty cool to watch. I tried to cut this flight down so it would be more interesting to watch. I'll post the full flight in a later YouTube video. I guess because I have continuously trimmed the servos, you can see where it says saving settings and then settings saved. I hope you enjoyed the video.